This is going to be a quick video going over this image that you see on screen just now. This image was created by WARZONE Loadout, so you can check out their stuff. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But what they actually tested here was the same weapon and took 4 recoil tests with the exact same build. They didn't change anything. And they got basically what is essentially 4 different recoil patterns, as you can see here, which is actually completely insane in this game. So what we actually wanted to do was test this for ourselves, and what we did is we took a couple of different weapons and we're going to test it on a wall and see what it looks like and if the recoil charts are different each and every time. Now the builds we used had no attachment tuning, just to make it very simple to understand. I don't want to go into all the tuning stuff, so we used base attachments and we kept all the attachments the same. So we used the pineapple grip, a suppressor, the longest barrel, and the slimline optic. So this is my favorite wall to test recoil on, and that's because it's very visible to see each individual shot, and on top of that is exactly 10 meters away. So what we'll do is we'll fire one mag into the wall. This is a 30 round mag, keep that in mind. And we're using the M4. We'll do it again, so we're going to do this 4 times, of course. Then we'll do it again. And then we'll do it one last time. And we'll see what the recoil looks like. Now this is where we took the screenshots for the test we done for a couple other weapons. Now when it comes to the M4, it's relatively consistent when it comes to its recoil charts. As you can see, it kind of goes up and then to the left a little bit. Very different to other COD games, but regardless, that is the kind of recoil pattern of this weapon. And in this case, it kind of does have a bit more of a sharp right here and then a sharp left. So there is more of a point in this one, so it is definitely less consistent in these patterns here. This one has a bit more vertical recoil than the kind of middle two, so it is a bit more random than it is in previous COD titles. And what this actually means is going to be a little bit hard to control when you're in game, because the recoil pattern of the actual weapon is changing. So that is something you will need to account for. Now the only benefit to this is if anyone's using Cronus Max, Cronus, whatever, this really won't help their case because the recoil isn't always exactly the same. So what we did is the exact same test 4 more times. We've done the RPK, the LACHMANN-556, the RAAL, MG, and the TAQ-56. Now, with the guns you can notice this a bit more with is going to be the RPK. So as you can see, the RPK, the first shots are actually relatively grouped together. Then if you look at the second kind of recoil pattern to the right of that, it's a bit more spread out. And this, again, this is the exact same build. And then again, it's a bit more tighter together. And then the one on the right has a sharper kick once more, very similar to what we saw with the M4 earlier on, but again it's a bit tighter with the grouping. So pretty much all 4 of those recoil charts are quite different when it comes to the RPK. The LACHMANN-556 is actually relatively a consistent weapon, and it probably is the reason why it feels a bit more easier to control than some of the other guns in the game. Now we've got the RAAL MG, which actually looks again very consistent, and probably the reason why it's super popular inside Warzone right now, because this gun doesn't actually have a lot of recoil whatsoever, vertical or horizontal. So it pretty much groups together by itself, and I can see this gun definitely getting a nerf because not only that, it has a super insane TTK at long range. Then we've got the TAQ-56, which was the one that they tested on the website of Warzone loadouts, and as you can see, the recoil does change quite a bit with this weapon in particular. So the first recoil pattern does have a bit of a kick upwards to the left, and then it goes to the right a bit more, but it's not quite as harsh as the 2 recoil charts you see on the right. And the one in the middle is actually quite a very vertical recoil, and all the bullets are kind of tightly packed together, so it's very, very consistent with that one. But when it comes to overall, it's kind of like an inconsistent weapon. So the only thing that was not actually considered was aim assist. Now, aim assist does help you stay on target with these guns. As you can see here, if you do get a bit of aim assist, which you do get on these dummies, of course, you are able to stay on target a little bit easier. Not only that, obviously, if you are able to manage your recoil a little bit better, then you're going to stay on target regardless. But when it comes to having that aim assist, it definitely helps control their players an absolute ton when it comes to having a consistency in your recoil. So unfortunately, this is quite a bit of a con to those mouse and keyboard players, but for controller players, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.